time is nigh. Open up your eyes to see the signs of the times. Got to be wise to all of their lives. Look to the skies from where my help comes. Wake up, got to wake up from the slumber. Don't let them pull you under. Rise up of the water. Never let them wrestle you into the mud.
Yes, are we up and running? And look that way. Greetings in the name of His and Her Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, Empress Rosero Menin. Yes, family, one perfect balance. So welcome to a magnificent Monday, a politically incorrect, where we get it correct. And if we're not correct, feel free to correct us. Not a problem. There's nothing wrong with a little correction. I have to admit that I was getting calls on this program the entire weekend. Everybody wanted to know what it's going to be like, what it's going to be about, based on the topic. How do we heal our women? I think there's so many misconceptions that women have, and they, as well, usually the grandparents and then the mothers, and they pass it on to their daughters. And in so doing, the daughters then basically perpetuate the cycle. There's an old saying where we are asked to break the curse or break the cycle. And I think we're going to explore that tonight on many levels, because there's a cycle, and there's a cycle that a lot of people are unconscious about. And unfortunately, well, if we don't break it, it's going to continue and continue and continue. So having said that, I will say this much. I want to thank everyone for being patient. First, let me say that, for being patient and joining us here on Politically Incorrect. Like I said, where we get it correct. And if we're not correct, then feel free to correct us. Just checking all the what is it, the dots and crossing the T's and dotting the I's here. Let me get the number on the screen. The brother said, make sure you put the number up because I want to call in. I don't know why he wanted to call, but he said, make sure you put it up. And now do me a favor, family. Give me a sound check real quick. Give me a sound check. Let me know how I'm coming through. And let me know how everything's flowing. The number to call is 246-838-8253 on WhatsApp. Especially if you're outside the territory of Barbados. The number again is 246-838-8253. Loud and clear. Okay. I see you, Jackie. I see you. Natasha, give thanks. Brian, I see you, Chief. Stolen African. I see you as well, my brother. Trust it all is well with you and the family. Let me click this here real quick. All right. Looking good. I can see it. If you can see me loud and if you can see me here, hear me loud and clear, give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts, give me something. Give me some feed forward, and let me know how we get this thing going. I have a tune I want to drop. It's gonna be quite interesting how this work out. Let me see how you're gonna make this happen. Man. Go tell a friend. Politically Incorrect is on, and we have much to discuss tonight, without question. Joyette, I see you, family. Good night to you too. Sound is perfect. All right, Brian, I give thanks for the approval. Well, having said that, let's jump right into it. Shout out to the whole Caribbean, the whole Antilles, especially Antilles. And that's for obvious reasons. It's on we side of things, from Dominica all the way down to Guyana. Big up the family right through. Shout out to the brother who called me from Guadeloupe yesterday by way of Dominica, and the friend in Bahamas that connecting the dots. This is crazy. You cannot make this up. And give thanks, though, family. Definitely give thanks. But having said that, let me go ahead and tell a friend, family. Tonight is about healing, man. Tell a friend, family. Tell a friend, family. Tell a friend to tell a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Rhythm and life damnation. You realize all the time we wasting. You realize all the pain we facing. Please pour a cup feminine libation. My gosh, we raising. Please sympathize all the lies we raise.
How do we heal our women?
Lies all the time.
We're gonna have to unbag the lies, man.
Drink a cup of quarters on my chorus, then I code up. If I rule the world, money stacks for all my daughters. Never ask for payment in the womb ×9. Now we see the blood on the street ×3. Feminine energy, balance up the indestructible in the vaginal. Heaven in thine, heaven is mine. Spiritual, lyrical, mother.
You gotta break through the lies, family.
Kind. If I was astonished by the level of shame, feminine energy.
From religion to politics.
Ambition, intuition, shine. Intuition and ambition running through my veins. Pour out the love, let the healing begin. The birds and the bees.
Knowledge of self, man. Made in the image of God.
Ain't got nothing.
We worship everything outside of ourselves. That divine God force that lives within. You got it backwards, family. Inside out. Take a breath, family. The essence of God.
Famboy, I beg you listen me. I beg you open your ears for any waiting at they say.
I beg you.
Waiting at they talk. Now serious talk at they talk go. No beating Angaye speaking. Listen. In this world we do. Members say ya. One day go come. When we all go. Before long, we go meet Mama Godo. When we dey meet Mama Godo, tell me, waiting, you go say.
What you gonna say, man?
Rhythm and life damnation. You realize all the time we wasting. You realize all the pain we facing. Please pour a cup feminine libation. My gosh, we raise. Please sympathize all the lies we raising. Please realize all the time.
Y'all gonna miss that though.
Female energy, 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 times sorrows. Carry all the weight of the world on your shoulders. Give a couple crowns to the woman who had bore us. Told us, focus, love and support us. Magical, umbilical, my universe is radical. Introduce the nation.
Tell a friend to tell a friend, family.
Feminine energy, almost mathematical. You can really sum up what is infinite and valuable. Feminine energy, balance up the indestructible in the vaginal, heaven in thine. She sing a melody to pass the time. Give us her energy so she will mine. If I was astonished by the level of shame, feminine energy, never shame again. Rain,
never shame again.
Rain, praying, intuition and ambition running.
Love, 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 family.
Pour out the love, let the healing begin.
Let the healing begin. Let the healing begin. Trying to restore the family, man. Trying to restore the family. My pronoun is I am. My pronoun is I am. I am that I am. God in the flesh. I don't know about you, man. But I am that I am that I am.
Energy.
Yeah, family, that joint there nice, right? That joint there nice. Let me drop the link because I know y'all asking, yo, who that? Where you be getting this music from? Like, where you be getting it from? Yeah, ancestors be giving me the tunes, man. Don't be me. I can't even be. I don't even know, man. Like the right music just come. Just the right music at the right time. Right music at the right time. That's all I can tell you. Anyhow, family, give thanks for those who, you know what I'm saying, connected with it. Yeah, That's what's up. I have a caller here on the line. Let me answer this right here real quick. Hey, good night, caller. You're on the air. Welcome to Politically Incorrect.
Yeah, my brother. This is the guy from Dominica in Guadeloupe.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just listening.
Wow. Well, welcome to Politically Incorrect, where we get it correct. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, man.
The question tonight is, how do we heal our women? How do we heal our women? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I would want to know, what do you mean by how do we heal our women? If it's something that has to do with the spiritual aspect, or physical, or medical, I don't know. So can you put it into pieces for me, please?
Sure. Not a problem. I think that's a brilliant question. That's a good question to start tonight. Put it in perspective. What do you mean by heal our women? And you mentioned physically, you mentioned spiritually. The reality is we have to look at every aspect of what is happening in our society right now, in our communities. If you think about it, I asked someone, what is it that they took from our women that we have yet to acquire? What is it that they took? And I was saying to someone, they took the family. If you think about it, they took the family. A woman by nature is who develops the family. She's the nurturer. A man might give her a house, she turns it into a home. With her loving nature, her soft tones, and her ability to uplift everyone around her. Now, I'm not saying everyone across the board, but look across the society. You have most homes being ran by a single parent, usually the mother, who is usually always so busy working. There's a level of aggression, level of frustration, depression. There's so many things going on. Then we talk about the health aspect in terms of what I'm seeing as what we classify as obesity being normalized. A lot of our sisters are I think what they call it is a word they call it, being proud of being bigger. There's a term they use. My point is, it's a bit unhealthy. And the minute we start to normalize abnormal behavior, we know we have a problem. So when we talk about healing, we talk about being able to look within oneself and recognize the different challenges that one might be masking or might be avoiding, and start to deal with it in a very holistic way. Because the minute we get our sisters where they need to be, the minute our sisters find themselves and restore themselves, a lot of the issues we face right now as a community, we're not going to have anymore. We're not going to have it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So what? So how does the man himself come into that?
Well, you tell me. You're the first caller. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Okay, but I think it's an integral thing. Is the man has to play a part,
of course,
to encourage the woman to encourage the woman, to guide the woman, and sometimes some people believe, it is the same, that women are weaker vessels than men, and it probably has to do with the physical ability that man has and that women might not have, but mentally and in all other aspects, women are also strong just as man. So I would think that how do we heal our ladies is by the men should take great interest in our ladies, and our ladies also have to collaborate with the men in terms of, if your man loves you and he comes home with something, let us say, the type of artificial food which is on the market, where most of the young people or people of that generation would like to consume, which is fabricated by this powerful the systems that are in wealthy countries, and we go over and consuming all what they produce, and this is also not only having an impact, as you said a while ago, is the woman is responsible of the family. So if the man himself does not play the role he's supposed to play in stabilizing the atmosphere, creating a conducive environment to permit the woman to be more responsible in terms of the things that they eat, the things that they easily attracted to, which could be slow poison. And not only that, we see some of our ladies bleaching their skins because this might have a negative impact on the future of our generations. We don't know scientifically what it is going to do to the offspring of these ladies who does that. So what I would want to say is it has to be an integral or collaborative effort within the man and the woman.
I agree.
And
balance.
Balance. It does not go without these two polarities, if I can say it this way. So I believe, as you said earlier on, which is very positive, is the lady is responsible of the family. The man is there to provide and to stabilize. But nowadays, you find the ladies are highly educated. They do own a car. They do have their own income. They have their own independence. This is what we see it is. But in the days of my young days, I would recall that my mother would be at home to take care of preparing the meals and the local foods and the tea in the morning, wash the clothes, take care of the house, the coffee early in the morning, make sure when we come back from school our homeworks are properly done. While Dad is in Zion, cultivating the soil to enable an income to come into the house to maintain the family. So I believe with this modern civilization, which has been falling on our, we have been influenced by, is also destabilizing the possibility of healing our women if we do not sensitize ourselves together as one identity, but not as a woman or a man, but it's a stereo business. It's a left and right business. So this is my contribution. I believe we can heal our ladies by the ladies making it easy to also educate them, the man who is the head figure in the home. So I think both of us are responsible of playing a part to heal the women. And remember, a healthy woman will give birth to a healthy kid, a healthy child.
That's right.
So I think, well, as you say earlier on, I'm going to repeat again, the ladies are responsible of the family.
I agree. I totally agree. But thank you for calling, caller. And again, we have much to discuss going forward. And again, shout out to the family and the Antilles. Somebody said in the French-speaking Isles of the Antilles.
Yeah, man. I would like to big up all of the Bajan brothers and sisters who tune into the politically incorrect show, which of course I discovered not too long ago by a friend of mine in the Bahamas who sent me the link. And the first show that I listened to, it had to do with you were talking about the Chinese and all of these things, and I know that in Dominica, as I speak, the Chinese are already colonizing the place. Most of the business places that you would see locals used to own, now you find the Chinese are substituting them. So, and they are involved in doing certain like for example, we are building our first international airport, and the people who are responsible of building it are Chinese. So you see, they are already not only in Dominica, where I am in Guadeloupe, the Chinese are also. And what is very dangerous is most of the Chinese stores, they are coming with inferior material to sell to the people. For example, you buy the electronic stuff, and it's a form of pollution. None of what they sell is not of good quality. I do not want to come on the air and say that like that, but sorry for being direct. But I think it is something that when I listen to the show that you spoke about, the Chinese population is decreasing because they had a method where they were depriving their people from having more than 2 kids. I think was only one because of the population was too huge. But now the economy is growing, and then the population is getting older, and it seems to me India is overtaking the population by I think by around 800 million people, more than the Chinese. So this is to say that the Chinese are experiencing some problems in terms of the continuation of their population. So and apart from that, this was the show that really grabbed my attention, and I fell in love with the show, and I immediately tried to call you.
Well, we thank you for making that effort. We thank you for making that effort. And there's several series you could click any one of them and watch. Going back over 2 years, I believe at this point, I've lost track completely. But what I want to add to you though but before you go, what I want to add to you is that we got to be mindful that that's why we're having these talks, because the reason why the Chinese could come to a whole different land where your family has been in prison for so long under the guise of slavery, because we were never slaves. I mean, we were never slaves, despite they keep teaching that to our children in these schools of brainwashing institutions. The fact of the matter is that our families are not together. Because if our families were together and we were organized accordingly, that wouldn't be possible. But it's because they have broken us apart and we are scattered, and we spend more time fighting amongst each other than dealing with the problems at hand. Is why these things happen. But like I said, we're here to have this conversation to restore the family. So we're dealing with the sisters at this point, getting the sisters right, because like you said, a happy woman, a healthy woman is a healthy and happy home. Thanks for calling, caller.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you very much.
Yes, family. That's how this thing happening, man. We all the way in Guadeloupe. That's crazy. French-speaking island. You can't make this stuff up, man. Can't make it up. But he has a valid point, though. It's the togetherness. If we don't work this thing together, there's some groups who tell you that, the feminine energy, we gotta do it ourselves. Okay. And the guys, well, we men fellowship ourselves. Okay. Again, divide and rule. This balance is to recognize we all done did things. We all done hurt each other. We got to stop pointing at the hurt and start looking at the heal. How do we mend a lot of the damage that was already done? I mean, you meet people and they've already gone through different experiences. And one thing about healing, you shouldn't force a person to heal, and if they do try to change because of you, then they're doing it for the wrong reasons. And if you force them to try to do that, they miss out on so many different experiences that they need to go through to become better at themselves, for themselves. You're not doing it for you or doing it for me or anybody. It's about looking into yourself and realizing, you know what? I've been doing some things repeatedly for a while because I've been comfortable doing it. I've been conditioned to do it. And I don't realize that these things are working against me every single time. So then one day you wake up and you're so far lost in the woods that you don't even find your path to find your way back home. And you just lost forever. And they say misery love company. You will find someone on the path to tell you, man, what you don't need a man. You don't need a man. You can do it all by yourself. I guess it depends on what you're doing. But the reality is, if we are intended to fixing the family, if we are serious about mending our communities, if we are serious about building and restoring our nation and helping our children and our children's children, we, the adults, got to find ways to help heal each other, forgive each other, and move forward. The number again is 246-838-8253. Feel free to call in, or if you like, I put the link up on the live right there. Come on in the studio. You don't have to show your face if you would not like to, if you don't like to, if you don't want to. You can still call in and we can still hear your point of view. Now, everybody be telling me, yeah, you're gonna call, and this number comes up and then the phone don't ring. It's like they'll message me. They're like, man, I can't be stopping to read messages in the phone unless I'm reading a message pertaining to something you said. Other than that, come on in, man. Come on in. The lines are open. How do we heal our women? Then this is a conversation, because this is leading towards how do we restore the family, because that's what's up. You see this sakafet? I don't have a clue what that means, but I'm guessing it's something to do with Creole. Being self-employed and raising children can be blissful, depending on the field you choose. The children are the children are happier and peace of mind for mom, and a peace of mind for mom. You know what? A lot of our sisters aren't at peace, and they run to the church and they hold on to the cross and they praise to Jesus, and you could tell they're not at peace. And if you look at how their lifestyle is, how they live their life, you could tell they're not at peace. But Christ is supposed to be the Prince of Peace, which is funny because they're not at peace. So something is missing. There's a component that's clearly missing. And the question is, what is that component? Yeah, happier. God formed man out of the clay. Then God breathed breath into the clay, and the clay became a living man. My point is that breath is the essence of God. That's from the essence of God that gave us life, that gave the clay life, that turned soil into a living man. How you gonna miss that? That force lives within you and guides you. You know what I mean? Connect with it. Divine energy on the inside. There's no God outside of man. God is all things, including man. And therefore, we got to recognize that respect is given to everything, all things. So we got to look at each other and start seeing each other with a divine eye and recognize that, there's some of us that may have our little ways, so to speak, but it's learned behavior. And the same way you learn to be a particular way, sometimes you got to stop and unlearn that. That's not working for you. You think it's working. It ain't working. It ain't working. Self-love may be missing. That's a fact. Self-love is missing. They're so busy trying to get to heaven, they forget to live. God gave you a life to live. Live it. Cheers. If we don't recognize that we have been called for a divine purpose, and in this time, especially in 2023, where you see things happening in such a way that you got to wonder, you got to wonder. And in that wondering, well, you got to know who's who. Having said that, I have a caller here on the line coming on in studio. Divine Goddess 99. Who is this? Add to stream. Greetings, family. Greetings. Welcome to Politically Incorrect. You're live and on the ear. On the ear. On the net.
Greetings, Emmanuel.
Greetings.
So I was following this series for a little while, this healing series. I like to call it the healing series because we talk about the women, we talk about the men, we're talking about the women today, and I hear you mention the family. So I feel like it's appropriate to call it the healing series, right?
Mm.
Initially, I also was going to talk about femininity because that is a part of our healing, what we need to heal. But then I also too had a conversation with someone like you mentioned earlier, and they also shed some light that it's not just that, but the main part of it is, the family. The family is missing.
That's right.
And in that conversation, I actually felt and I understood wholly what that is. Now, truthfully, I've never had my family taken away from me. But the comment that was made, it was so profound that it put me in a set of emotions that I felt like were not even mine.
Mm-hmm.
And the person said, then it has to be that ancestral connection, you know? And if that's the truth, then we've been broken for a long time.
That's right.
It's been a while. So my thing is, if we've been broken that long, that means we forgot what we were supposed to do. A lot of us forgot our purpose. So how do we get back there? Right? So my thing is the family is what is missing. What it's why we feel so alone. It's why we feel so broken because it's the most valuable and the most important part of us. It was literally taken. We didn't give that up. That was stolen.
That's right.
So that's why, for me, I feel like it feels so personal. Because how could you take that away from me? You know? And now here I am with all of my sisters feeling this type of way. Now, like I said, I initially wanted to talk about the lack of femininity and just speak on that a bit, but this revelation, it put me onto a different train of thought, and now I could definitely link that femininity to this though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had a whole bunch of notes and it threw me off, so I don't even know where to start now. But I still feel like I should touch femininity because you can still link it back to the family. There is a woman on YouTube. I'm going to post the link in here so that you can share it. Her name is Jasmine Theodora. She talks a lot about femininity. And one of the things that really stood out for me was the art of softness. I find a lot of women nowadays are not soft. They're not soft. They're hard. They're go-getters. They're ruthless. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with a woman being a go-getter.
Mm-hmm.
But how are you getting the get? Are you getting it?
What are you giving up in exchange?
Right? Do you get it from how you are as a feminine woman, or are you expressing yourself in a masculine way to get it? And it's a real difference. So one of the things that she says is grace, beauty, and openness can inspire and influence others in a lot of ways that men can't. There's a lot of strength in your femininity. I'm gonna mention like this a few times. Feminine essence. Your feminine essence is how you are naturally. That's your natural femininity. It's not something you put on. It's not something you can take off. That's just who you are naturally. It embodies power just as much as masculinity, but masculinity is about doing while femininity is about being. You get what I'm saying?
Got you.
All right. Well, for the person that didn't get me, in my mind, that phrase, masculinity is about doing, in my opinion, means it's the way men are expected to act. It's the
What do you
way
mean by
men are
men
expected.
expected? What do you mean by men expected to act? Because do you think females currently have an expectation of how a man ought to be?
Definitely.
But does that, okay, well, let me just play God's advocate here and answer the question then. Does that expectation coming from a sister or woman who has yet not fully healed, is that expectation realistic, or is it based on a false idea of what a man should be?
It's based on social expectations. That's the truth.
So then the idea of I like this person or I like that person isn't really based on what it should be based on. It's based on your own level of security, insecurity, and how that individual makes you feel with regards to your own self or lack of knowledge of yourself.
Exactly.
Is that healthy?
It's really not fair. It's not only health. It's not only unhealthy. It's not even fair. It's not fair to men. And then here we go again. It's not fair to the family. Because then how are you supposed to build with a person that you have so many different expectations of that's not even real life? It's not even reality. You can't even find your own reality as a unhealed woman. How you gonna expect a man to help you? It's so twisted.
Okay, so then so how does that affect the relationship that you think you're looking to build? How does it affect that relationship?
Wow.
Yeah, I know that's a deep one, man.
I know. You know what?
That's a Brian Lara shot, man.
Six, boy, listen. It'll affect the relationship in all aspects. All the way around. All.
So you're telling me that women generally have a expectation of men that is really false in the first place? Is that one of the reasons why most relationships do not work?
That's what I'm saying to you. The social expectations that are placed on men give women the impression or the wrong impression of what a man is supposed to be, or what a man is, or what masculinity is. That's just the truth.
Wow.
That's just the truth about it.
Wow.
Listen to what Google says masculinity is. It's the social expectations of being a man. The term masculinity refers to the roles, behaviors, and attributes that are considered appropriate for boys and men in a given society. It's constructed and defined socially, historically, and politically, rather than being biologically driven.
Wow.
So they're saying that masculinity is not even something that you're born with. This is something that's put on men naturally. And it brings me to this thought now. Men have feelings, but they're socially constructed to suppress those feelings. So then how do we relate to men? How do men relate to us if they can't even express themselves?
I want you to say that again. Wait, hold on. You gotta repeat. No, wait, no. Pull the what he said. Stop and break. Stop and break. Yo, repeat what you just said.
Man, we gotta catch me on the replay because I don't remember everything I said.
You said men are not allowed to express
their feelings, their emotions.
And emotions. Because society says men got to be hard. So as if expressing my emotions and my feelings means I am soft.
Correct.
So let me answer another question. This is just another Brian Lara shot. So you're telling me that women who not used to men or a man who is capable of expressing his emotional intelligence in an articulate way, how do they respond to that? How do they deal with that? Especially if you don't expect him to even be able to do that in the first place.
Defensively, naturally.
You sound like you're talking from experience, you know.
Yeah, I am.
Wow. So they get defensive.
Yeah, they sure do. They sure do. It's not a natural reaction, but it's a programming. Because women tend to act in they're now tending to act in their masculinity. So when they're approached by a man, they're not used to what a man is really. So then masculinity steps in. Mm-hmm. And that is like, hey, hold up. Let me defend. Let me protect. Mm-hmm. Let me guard. Let me block. Because that now, a man coming with emotional intelligence is going to break down your vulnerability. Wow. So how do you respond to that as a woman who does not operate in her feminine essence? You're not allowed to be soft, not anymore. Women are not allowed to be soft anymore. So then how do we respond? We respond defensively.
Wow.
That's just
in other words, a lot of these arguments that couples be having is because a man expressed his feelings. You got upset at what he said rather than acknowledging what he said, and now he's sleeping on the sofa.
Yep.
Wow. How do we get past that, sister? How do we address that? How do we undress that, rather?
I'll say this. And this is one I will touch on femininity. Nowadays, there is the call for women to be fierce. Mm-hmm. In some cases, ruthless. I mean, I'm all good with equal respect, but women and men are not interchangeable. They're not interchangeable. You have to be who you have to be. Gentleness is one thing that a lot of women don't have anymore. Softness is a thing that women don't have anymore. I find like a lot of women just can't let a man win. Even if she might feel like he's wrong about something, she just can't let him win. And I find, and I'm just going to spill a little secret, I find that when you allow a man to win an argument sometimes, you actually do win, because then he understands where you're coming from. And most of the time, he comes back around anyway.
Wow.
Just be soft.
Just be you. Inside secrets coming out. So you're saying that even though you allow a man to feel as if he's right and he has won an argument, it enhances him, and at some point he comes back around to you, feeling like the pride of the pack. Like, yeah, I can see how
It's
that
the
could work.
truth.
I can see
It's
that.
the truth.
I can see that.
Yeah.
But you know, you got to also
Gentleness.
choose your battles. I think you're right about that, and not
Yeah,
necessarily always
definitely.
want to fight and argue on everything. But you're right. When you operate in that masculine sense as a female, in spite of the fact that you're functioning from an emotional point of view, and men not allowed to express his emotions, he just really dealing with the logical perspective in the argument. No wonder most men end up losing the argument with a woman because she'll beat you every time with the experience with the emotional part. Because the reality is, that's her neck of the woods. And
Right.
so that back and forth eventually breaks down communication. And someone said it, communication is key. And I totally agree. And
Yeah.
part of that problem, though, is, and we don't want to say it, but it goes back to our enslavement and how we were treated, especially as men having to step outside while the woman had to step up and do things that she didn't necessarily
Hmm.
wanted to do. And this is the point
Hmm.
where I talked about having your family snatched from you, having your man degraded in front of you and marginalized to the point where now you do the same thing. And as a matter of fact, you kind of function like massa by oppressing him in his own home.
Right.
That sounds strange, right? But guess what? That's why it's spots like the rum shop, where all the other men having the same problems, all congregate, discuss the same problems, laugh at each other, and just try to numb that pain internally of having lost the home or having lost the kingdom. Because losing your home is equivalent to losing your kingdom.
Hmm. It's true.
And I think
It's
too, relationships, I think children need to see their parents, especially women, their mothers, showing affection in a loving way towards that man, that male, that father figure, so that it shows them the connection between man, woman, and the love. So by having that, they can see how things go forward. A lot of mothers don't show their children any affection, they may not hug them, they may not kiss them, they may not show them no empathy, no. It's always an argument as to do as I say, full stop. But what does that produce? What does that produce?
I feel
How does that affect the child?
I feel what you're saying, and it goes back to what I was just telling you about, which is gentleness.
Mm,
And I just want to express to my sisters, gentleness does not mean that you are a pushover. Gentleness does not equate to that. It doesn't. Gentleness is nurturing, gentleness is comfort, gentleness is soothing. It doesn't mean that you're a pushover. It really doesn't mean that. And let's talk about vulnerability for a minute.
okay.
A lot of people don't like to hear this word because it comes across as weakness. It comes across as not a good word. A lot of people don't like to feel or hear that word anymore. But vulnerability opens us up into our humanity, which builds a connection and a wholeness rather than reinforcing separation. So it goes back to the same thing you were talking about with men and women arguing.
Hmm.
If you're vulnerable, you build that connection with your king regardless. So you don't have to argue. You really don't.
Someone said that women who argue are not in touch with their femininity. You find that could be true?
It's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. I mean, even if you look at vulnerability a little deeper, it's really choosing to show up and be real. It's the choice to be honest about everything. So then why would you argue if you're honest? If you tell the truth from the jump, then there's nothing to argue about. And when I say tell the truth, I don't mean to say, hey, yeah, I did eat your sandwich. Or, yeah, I did go to the store and I didn't tell you. No, I mean truthful about everything. Truthful
Or you
about how
can't call
you
the
really
mango juice.
feel. Don't steal my juice and then say it's not you because I know it's you. But my point is not just to be honest about those surface level things. Be honest about how you feel. That's how you build that connection. Allow yourself to feel, embrace that. All of that is part of your femininity, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Don't get caught up in these social norms. Don't get caught up in these things that people try to tell you not to be. That's not how you're supposed to be. That's not
Facts,
it.
facts,
That's
facts,
not it. There is
facts.
something, Emmanuel, there's something so admirable and magnetic.
Hmm.
Hear that word? Magnetic about the real woman who isn't afraid to express her true feelings. and emotions, but in a graceful, dignified manner. In a graceful and a dignified manner.
I like that word you use, graceful. And I think that, I've been hearing that from certain sisters for a while, and it was always a joy to hear them say that, because graceful don't mean that you won't twist something if you have to. You just do it gracefully.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I want to thank you, sis, for sharing your knowledge with us. I think you put a lot of food for thought in the mouths of many people who are tuning in to chew on this particular meal we having tonight. We having dinner, and I'll let y'all do the dishes, man. But thanks again for sharing. Give us a parting thought for now regarding how do you think we should go forward in terms of how do we heal our sisters.
Mm. I would say to my sisters,
Hmm.
in fact, 1 second. 1 second. I'm going to share something else with you that I hope you'll share with the.
What if it's a link? You can send it to me, and I'll put it out. I'll put it out.
Yeah, I just sent it.
I
I
got you.
just shared that.
I
I
got you.
know you said, I know you said that it surrounds the family,
Hmm.
but I really do think that to truly, and this is a message for my sisters, to truly embrace our femininity, we must be authentic. Our vulnerability is the source of authenticity. To be vulnerable is just to be raw, open, unguarded with your heart, mind, and soul.
Hmm.
Just see and embrace things as they are rather than how we wish they would be. There's so much softness in vulnerability because you're giving up your toughness, letting down your rough, jagged, sharp edges that you protect yourself with. Truthfully, you may feel unsafe at first, but it's the only way for us to really cultivate real intimate connections, not just with our kings, but with our children, with the people around us. You have to
Especially
let them
children.
go, especially the children. Those are the
Especially.
ones who look to us for love. You gotta really just let that go. It's not as hard as you think. It's only
Serious.
hard if you think it's hard. It's only a
Serious.
challenge if you think it's a challenge.
That's right. I want to thank you. I like that. It's an individual challenge. It's only hard if you think it's hard. You have to
All right.
want to heal in order to experience healing. It's something you have to
Exactly.
want. It's something you have to actually desire within yourself. And the best part is when you do that, yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
it happens.
Exactly.
It happens. It happens. I want to thank you for definitely sharing your wisdom with us, sis. And again, calling politically incorrect. This thing done gone viral. So thanks again for calling in. Tell a friend to tell a friend and let it be known.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, man. Divine feminine order. Sisters calling and sharing their secrets, man. Sometimes you gotta let the brother win, he'll come around. I can agree with that though. I think that is important to choose your battles. There's some women I know, man, and all they do is argue. Like you ask them the simplest thing, like, how's the weather? Weather? Telling me? Telling me? You're telling me? It's always something. But the funny thing, you think that's funny, right? I have some studio guests tonight. But it's interesting because we don't realize that a lot of what we do is learned behavior. We come along seeing granny do it, we see mommy do it, we adopt it. We don't realize society embrace it, society promotes it. The reality is it is self-destructive. We see everything coming and going, and we can't figure out why is it all people can't seem to get past go. We are too emotionally invested in our own demise, and we're too stuck in a rut and too stiff necked to recognize that we gotta let go. That we just gotta let go. These little idiosyncrasies, they call them, and little things that we have just been conditioned to see as social norms. That is really abnormal behavior. Really abnormal behavior. Shout out to Tamara, by the way. I just felt like saying that. Yeah, she knows. She knows. Yeah, she knows. She knows. Hurt people, and people cry out for help in many different ways. And we must be in tune with ourselves, having gone through the experience, to recognize when somebody crying out for help. They may not always be saying, help, help, look at me over here. They may not always be saying that. They may be saying it in different ways. So we are brothers and sisters keeper. Let's be sure to do that. I see another person here in the studio. Taiwan, is that you? Greetings, my brother. If it's you, you got to unmute your mic, and you definitely got to speak loud. Otherwise, you probably won't hear you too clear. Welcome to Politically Incorrect.
Good evening. Evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
It's very interesting discussion that we're having. But sometimes I think the problem for how much is suggestion. One of the problems that we have as men and women, we don't want to put our rights, so we let it feel that, we're so macho or we're so strong as a woman that we don't want to let no one judge. And I find that that's one problem that we have now, where I myself, know sometimes I have to give up my right in order to make peace among the family. So I think that is one problem that we have. And we as men don't show enough affection sometimes to really let them all hear, because we always hope they're hustling. We don't know, we as African men don't really advise them about walking up and hold their hands and showing love at the sister. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have in my generation in the 70s, because now, in my generation, we didn't even grow up to show that kind of affection. People felt at the time it was wrong to do, to show your love openly. And I think that's one problem that we got.
So you're saying that you don't show affection, Tyrone? You sound like a man you sound like an Afro-romantic man. What do you mean you don't show affection?
I show it, but it's still Hawaii, because you always put that barrier, because you don't want to get hurt. So
true.
You put up a barrier, and then probably when you let it down, you won't let it down with the wrong person.
Serious. I agree with you, man. I mean, I remember my heart was broken once in my entire life. Only once, though. I would admit that. I won't call her name now. But only once, man. And that hit me for more than 6, man. But I'll be honest, and I'll say this, Tyrone. What I learned from that experience is that I had held on to that for a long time. And the truth is, by holding on to that, I dealt with all my relationships through that filter. And it wasn't fair to the individuals I was involved with, because they hadn't done anything. And it wasn't until I let that go and allow myself to be myself and open and show all my affection like the Niagara Fall and let my love come. Well, anyhow, the point I want to make is that being able to open up and allow a woman to connect with you and really feel that vulnerability and not be afraid, because the truth is, there's a power in being truthful to yourself. And it took me years to reach that point, man. It took me years, man. I always tell people, I really hope it don't take you as long as it took me, because I wish I knew.
It took me long, but the problem is that my problem is that you open up, you help people, you show all your love, you freak your love, but then in reality, you realize that sometimes people take you and use you. So
that's
you
all
always
right.
have that.
That's all right. That's their loss. That's not yours. See, your love is not conditional. As a matter of fact, let's put it this way, Tyrone. Treat your relationships like a business. The reality is, everybody is using somebody. Let me not they may not want to use that word. Let's use a different word. Negotiating, making terms. The reality is, you like that individual because of something, how they make you feel, or what they offer you, how they assist you, whatever it is. And that's where you want them in your life. I need you in my life because you provide this particular service. I need that. And guess what? They may say, you know what? I need you in my life because you provide a certain service. So it's a fair exchange. We bartering. I need this, you need that, we good. The minute that one of those needs change, or perhaps someone who comes along can satisfy that need, let's use her in this case, better than you, of course she's going to go. That's like someone comes along who can satisfy that need in you better than how she does. You might be thinking along the same lines. Unless you have a holistic way of looking at things, which not too many men, well, I don't know if they do that or not. I'm not even say that. But unless we get the point
I am something. I will offer it.
I can tell.
Something. I can tell. A bit too long.
But hold on. If the lady wants to leave you, if she wants to leave, if she say, you know what, my brother, this ain't working out.
You can go ahead. I don't want to talk.
You're willing to just let her go.
Therefore,
Man, I'm
And
pleased.
most of my relationship, I end on good terms because I don't believe that you should operate where you hit the person or anything like that.
Mhm.
You know,
I agree.
you just move on and and that way I was very interested to know to hear what he would say because you see, as you say, there's a lot more emotional behind a lot of things that happen up in this program. And that way she's all telling you that we really got to get together and really have personal talks because a lot of people in Barbados need to let go and move on. And
You
I
think
think
so?
that's one
Let me ask
problem
you a
with our
question.
family.
So let me ask you a question, Elder. You think then that people in Barbados hold on because they're so used to the hurt or so used to the kind of abuse that it's like they don't feel they can do any better, or they get so used to it, it becomes again social norm. They accept abuse.
We accept abuse because we are not the type of people, I mean, I get a lot of family. We are not the type of people that would get hurt and say, all right, I had enough of this here, we just want to do them up here, we just want to change it. You know, someone come along and say, oh, that's not abuse. That one just made a mistake. We turn the other feet and I go through that for the moment. So then we end up with a lot of wounds, a lot of things that happen, and we live with it for all of our life. When we're at a culture, recognize that, you know, in order for move on, you have to heal. So the healing part is very important, as you say. But when we accept the limit to heal, then they was told it takes a man to beat them, or it takes another woman to beat them. So I come along, and I never see a man begin my mother or my mother would tell a woman to hit her. So I learned earlier not do not hit no woman. So I am not a man I'm going to hit a woman. I will walk her there first.
True.
And then think that is one thing that the family that environment. Sure. Because none of us are for one another.
Let me answer your question then. Two things first. Somebody said bartering in relationships sounds very cutthroat. Whatever happened to feelings sounds very transactional. That's why some people hold back, don't allow themselves to feel because they don't want to be hurt. Let me play God's advocate again here. And say this. You know, it is uncomfortable for us to accept that's what relationships really are. The truth is, we say feelings, right? That's where we keep going wrong as a people. Feelings is something that change so rapid. I mean, you count the amount of feelings you have in one day, the highs, the lows, how they change. If you take that approach to relationship, it is destined to fail. You have to have a clear-cut objective as to why you want to be involved with that woman or why you want to be involved with that man. And if you let your intentions be known up front and you're clear up front, and they say, you know what, I can work with that, or no, I can't work with that, then you're all clear. But if it's feelings, I like you this minute, next minute I ain't like you, next minute I like you a little bit more, but a little bit less than the last minute, and it's such an emotional roller coaster ride. You talk about not wanting to get hurt. I guarantee that you will invariably be hurt because you put yourself through such an elastic form of relationship, the stretching and what do you call it, the expansion and contraction, that eventually the rubber band gets slack and it don't even work properly.
I call it in my Hawaii in my experience. A lot of people compromise to get what they want.
Well, that's true too. But let me ask you a question, Tyrone. Do you think that using Barbados that you said, is it a reflection on the society in terms of how they deal with social issues or not deal with social issues in terms of accepting wrongs being done by the government, for example, as a reflection of how they deal with their own relationships in terms of accepting the abuse and like, oh, well, what you could do? You think it's a
you hit it on the nail on the head because when you go for a person to say, well, you know, this thing is not right, you know, they will tell you, oh, well, you should go about it. You just have to live with it. So, you know, it's like you have a relationship, you know, it's one for the poison in your food every day, but you eat it and hoping that the Lord will save you. You will die because eventually the poison will take over the man.
So true. So true. You know, right? In some cultures in the East, like we here in the West, from a slave perspective and slave prisoner plantocracy perspective, we talk about feelings, right? Do you know that when these arranged marriages that they usually have more success rates than the relationship that based on feelings? And do you know why?
But
Because
you know,
people get together in most cases who are complete strangers. There's no
yeah,
feelings involved whatsoever, and they grow to love each other because they have an objective. We are together. This is what we expect to do. Our parents expect us to do this, that, and third. And there's an expectation. And they learn to love each other where we claim to feel and fall in love, get together, and then start fighting each other all the way to the altar.
but you know, the other thing that happened in that relationship is that they understand how love, from a very young age, exactly what is going to happen.
There you are. Say that again. See, that's my point. The culture is that in our culture, you have a duty to fulfill. The objective is long. Look, even in terms of parents and their children, the reason why parents have children is because not because they feel the need to have a child. That child is an extension of themselves going forward into the future. No children being that bloodline is a done deal. So there's no feelings doesn't have to be involved in that, but yet we have a desire to have these children. But these children serve a purpose. We not have them because we feel, oh, we want to have a child because we have a child. You having a child for a purpose. It is a transaction. It is a relationship, but it's not based on how we approaching it. Like it sounds like a negotiation. Like it sounds like we having a business arrangement. What it is and what it will always be is a transaction. You ain't gotta like the word.
No, it is a business relationship.
But I'm having comments here. People don't want to accept that. People don't want to accept that. They don't want to accept that at all.
In your solution, your because I was involved in somewhat more from intelligence commission. Until that baby is born, they already know who that baby is going to marry to, what kind of family is going to marry to, how much money, and how much all the welfare everything is done where hope
that's right.
That's right. Get from their job.
That's right.
And at the age of 16 years, they're normally going to get married. Now, we might ask, what is that? But it would explain to me that as far as they're concerned, that girl or boy should not fall into a position where the self is for the self. So, if family know us, if let's say this is a young lady that we like, the first thing that her family or my family would say, that is all you for you. Because as far as we're concerned, if you ain't got a certain task, you should not operate. And that's one family that we talking about there. People, the things that we look for on the outside, we go look for on the inside.
I get you, Tyrone. You're there, Tyrone? Right.
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah.
But what I was saying is this. What I say is this. I have another caller in line calling in.
Yeah.
The reality is this, right? In order to heal the women, we got to look at this thing realistically. We can't no longer allow people to tell us or how we should define our relationship or how it should be. I think when people get together, if they agree on an objective as to why they're getting together and they stay focused on that objective, then they're going to work and talk and negotiate and communicate every step of the way to make sure that their objective is to be fulfilled. If it's based on feelings, and you telling me that it's feelings, at my age, I've learned, right? See that feeling thing? I graduate that.
No, before the one thing that we got to recognize, behind every successful man, there's a woman, and behind every successful woman, there's supposed to be a man.
Side by side. I love it, Tyrone. Give thanks for calling in, my brother.
Right.
Give thanks for calling in. Caller, you're on. Wait, hold on. Wait, where'd it go? There you go. Caller, you're on. I can't keep to the ear, man. You're on the net live. Welcome to Politically Incorrect.
Hi, good evening. Greetings, Emmanuel.
Greetings, my brother.
Okay, now, you hit on some massive concepts there that are way above the heads of many of our females and males. And really and truly, you have gone way back to the original order, whereby these things are still practiced today in the motherland. They're still practiced in various parts of the world, whereby no man can come to say he's interested in somebody's daughter and has not proven or shown that he can support her.
Facts.
And that he will get into a relationship. He and the two of them will be in a relationship where he knows his role and she knows her role. And this whole talk of love is only done, and notice what he said, is only done over time, because love is a doing word.
That's right.
Love is action. Love is not feelings, as you said.
Not a light
From
switch.
the time feelings start first, you have problems.
Facts.
People get into relationships for a reason. The problem is we have accepted the Western Kool-Aid that you must feel and look at the exterior and look at how the body look and look at how the body sound and all these different things, and and that is what clouds our judgment as men and women, and the women suffer from it and they are hurt by it. That is, we talking about how we healing our women.
Talk about it, brother. Teach,
we have to start to go back to the roots of what we need to do as a society, as a community, to help protect our women. Okay? Because if you go to Uganda, there are places in Uganda, I researched this, I've seen it. People could go and do their own research. Right now, if I was interested in a Ugandan female, my brother, I go come with a goat for negotiate, buddy. Just to negotiate.
Just to talk.
They say they have to do a marriage yet. Don't marriage that yet, It's just to talk to the family. The mother and the father are not involved. The uncles and the elders are involved in the decision making as to whether this man has the opportunity to even go near that young lady. No. When after proper investigation and negotiation has formed, and he can show that family that he can not only take care of her and himself, but also their offspring. Okay? Body hurt and you got generations of hurt. This is the reality of what we're facing right now.
Facts.
That is why the Indians don't have that problem. That's why the Chinese don't have that problem. That's why a lot of different families around from different ethnic groups don't have that problem. What's wrong with the black people? What's wrong with the melanated kings and queens out there? We got to get back to basics, go back to the motherland and understand what we need to do. Look back where we come from. That is where we will get the lessons. I think we need to do.
I think you touched on something there just now that I think needs to be reiterated when you spoke about, especially the teenage pregnancy part, the cycle continuing, because it's a reality. A lot of young people end up, trying things based on feelings, what I like here and vice versa. And so I want to keep him. So I feel I'm going to share my body. That would be a tool I'm going to use. That would be a tool I'm going to use to transact his feelings for me. But we ain't going to talk that conversation now. The point I want to make is that
that's another thing.
When they fail to function with intelligence and get trapped to the point they come home, mommy, daddy got something to tell you. Of course, we deal with it accordingly. But I was telling someone recently, there is a difference in a child that was planned versus the pull-out game too slow. And there's a reality and difference in the energy in terms of how a woman body receives that energy from the man, in terms of how she creates that life in herself, as opposed to from the very inception, oh gosh, my period late, oh my God, what are you going to do? That fear, that hurt, that shit. I mean, there's so many things psychologically that goes on in the mind of a woman that affects the same features that's in her. And we wonder why we have a bunch of young people who don't have no feelings and care less about nothing. But we don't want to have
That's
the
a fact.
conversation about the transaction because the word transaction sounds too business. I get it. Find a different word. The fact is, if we have purpose, let me use purpose instead of transaction. Let me use purpose. Let me use purpose. It's more palatable to some. It's a bitter pill, but swallow it. If we have a purpose for coming together, then it's beautiful.
Mhm.
Transaction might be a little too harsh. I get it. I take that back. If we have a purpose, like the brother rightfully said, if we have a purpose and an objective, we can't fail because we start up with that and we focus on that and we set our sails to achieve that. But if it's a feeling thing, I tell you, man, feelings like
you will feel that's a setup. That's a setup to feel. Okay, and when we get away from the whole concept of this over romanticizing the word love and understand that love is action, we would then look at relationships in a much more holistic way. The love will come. You have to now learn to love each other.
That's right. I like that.
You gotta do the transaction first.
Not feel to love. Learn to love.
Correct. But now touching back now on the more pertinent question of how do we heal our females, okay, our women, okay, and I love women, I love them. But let me tell you this here, I gotta talk straight. We as men, some of us know that we can sit at the feet of our elders and learn something from them. Men that understand the program. I have seasoned men who know, who went through the ropes. Do women have that? That's the question. How many women sit at the feet of their elders to instruct and guide and according to some of the older ways, rather than this new fandangle thing that they're pushing on them, this feminism, not femininity, totally different thing. Feminism, okay, which is there to exploit them rather than to put them and properly and truly empower them. Because they keep using this word empower with women. Empower means to give authority to. To give authority to. You already have authority as a female. You are feminine, you are female.
That's right.
Why must you have additional empowerment? So when somebody can come and tell you, do this and do that like the man, and do this and do that, they're trying to say we are empowering you. But the truth is what they're doing to you is setting you up to compete with the man rather than cooperate with the man. And that is the problem that's causing a lot of hurt between our genders, and then it causes a lot of hurt in family. It causes a lot of hurt for the daughters, between mothers and daughters. It goes on and on and on and on and on.
Women compete, that's what you just kind of hit the nail on the head, man, because it's all a competition. When they do the things they do, whether it be weave, hair, eyelashes, clothing, whatever, the men don't require all that. We don't require all that, sisters. We just want to be loved and respected, and make sure that we don't get disrespected by you in any form or fashion, whether at home or in the street. Women do all that other stuff because they want to look a particular way. But who they want to look that way for? Not us, because men don't take much.
Not for the men. Men don't care about that.
Me and studying the lashes. Look, I don't care if her lashes is an inch or a foot long. That, as a matter of fact, I would hope she ain't got her lashes at all, quite frankly. So when they do all that stuff,
well, therefore you care. Then you care. That means that you care. You don't like it. It's something that would not be attractive to you.
They don't do that.
As you said, it's
men.
Not for us. It's for the other females to look at.
They compete with each other. That you said, that competitiveness, rather than looking at my sister as a compliment. Rather than looking at my sister as I support you, I give you that same respect. It's like, well, I want to be better than you. I want to outdo you.
Yes.
I want to shine brighter than you.
Every day they're doing it.
I got longer Remy than you. I got longer lashes than you. I told someone recently that whole drag queen look thing started back. I'm mature enough to know, man. Remember Boy George? All that funny hairstyles, the colors, all this stuff.
Yes.
What we see women doing now is basically walking about looking like drags, man. Women didn't dress like that. Women didn't act like that. It's a fact.
Yeah, that's true.
They didn't do that.
That's quite true.
The drags did that back in the 80s with Boy George and all that whole country club YMCA thing, that wild looking, wild stuff. And that's not to say nothing good or bad. I'm simply saying to say that our sisters got to stop competing with each other. Stop trying to get over on each other and recognize that we all need each other to help heal each other so we can go forward together.
Very much so.
And that's just the reality. And the men too got to really start being more, I go say this to my brother, but empathetic towards the challenges that our sisters be having. I don't think we listen to
Yes,
them. I don't
very
think
much
we
so.
listen. I don't think we listen to them clear enough. I think we hear them, but we don't listen to them. And I think there's a difference.
I agree. I agree. The most men today are not conditioned to even to listen to their women. But the thing about it too is that the sort of journey that our females have to take, it will take a man that really understands the nitty-gritty of what they're going through to help deal with it, help them deal with what they're going through. Because our women, I mean, it's pressure. It's pressure right through. So we really will have to be conditioned and knowledgeable and empathetic and ready to stand the long haul with them until they get to that point where they can really release that pain and that hurt and stuff like that. It could take years, but you got to be willing to be there.
Facts. Patience, man. Long suffering, like Christ. Like Christ.
Yeah.
No, brother, I want to thank you.
Right,
I want to thank you, man. I think you shed a whole floodlight on a range of topics, but more importantly, solutions towards healing. And like the brother said, be more compassionate, be willing to listen, and be patient with our women. I think that's one of the best things a man can do right now for his wife, his woman, is to be absolutely patient with her. And knowing that he has a plan and a purpose in her life, and that's to create an environment where she can unbox her hurt, unbox her pain. And as the man, he would gather that pain and gather that hurt like firewood and transform it into something viable, like a stove, so she could cook a meal for the family. You know what I mean? Repurpose that energy. Just repurpose it. I want to thank that last call again and the elder before that. Matter of fact, everyone that called in tonight and shared their thoughts. This is quite profound. As a matter of fact, I hear taking notes mentally. I see a lot of comments here. Oh, man. Subliminal message in the music. Don't even start me on the music. We're the only people right now that I don't recall hearing any songs by no white artists disrespecting their women. You know, I don't hear any songs by the Indian community disrespecting their women. I don't hear it. I don't know if they exist, but maybe I'm not exposed. But what I do hear a lot of is on our radio stations, especially the ones that the government claim to own or have an interest in. You know, if you're telling me that you're looking to shape society, then why not play more empowering music? The truth is, nobody who is looking to enslave you is going to empower you. And we need to realize that, like very seriously realize that. And until we reach the point where we can be honest about that, we're going to have these problems perpetually going on and on. We got to break the curse. We got to break the cycle. How do we heal our women? As men, we have to be more patient with our women, our wives, our sisters, our daughters, our family. We have to get in the space where they can recognize, you know what, maybe that's not so healthy. Maybe I didn't realize that was so dangerous to my own thinking, but not force it down their throats, but give them the space to recognize, you know, that they can open up, they can share, and they can grow and can heal in your space. Also, sisters got to recognize that there's no competition with another sister. There's none. You know, men look for different things in a woman at this stage. And because we live in an environment where social media and everything else promote these false ideas of what a woman should be, if you keep going along that narrative and you let social media define you, then you don't know your own worth. You know your own value. And when you don't know your own worth and you don't know your own value, then anybody can put a value on you and put a worth on you. You got to know yourself, family. You really got to know yourself. And the brother said, you got to love yourself, man. Because you can't love someone else if you don't love yourself. Loving yourself means that you're going to do as best you can everything that's in your best interest, that you're cognizant of. And I know. I ain't asked you to hit a switch and transform overnight. That the brother said it's a process. And it may take a long while. It may take a short while, but it's going to be a process nevertheless. And we must get that process done. Because why? You have a duty to restore the family. It's yours. That's what they took. They took that from the black woman, using the word black very loosely here for descriptive purposes in conversation, not for status. And I had to say that because we're going to get into all that conversation down the line. Right now, we got to deal with the family, how to restore the family. That's the next conversation we're going to have. And although these conversations may seem brief, they're seeds planted by the rivers of waters that will bring forth fruit in due seasons. Not even the leaves going to wither. And whatever you do, sister, my brother, shall prosper. Self-love is first and foremost. Well, guess what, family? Guess what? You can't really truly love someone else if you don't experience love within yourself, you know? So that's why I said feelings, man. Because once you love yourself and you truly embrace who you are, you know your value, when you meet someone else, you're going to look for things and see if they love themselves, how they treat themselves, because you're going to know they can't love you the way you would love to be loved if they ain't loving themselves the way you love you. That's why the Bible said, love your neighbor as yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. Yes, it said to love yourself. It did say that. But I got to make sure that the way I love you is how I want to be loved too, because that's how I love myself, is how I'm going to love you. Ain't no feelings with me. I ain't no. I give thanks to my elders for that one, man. Nah, we ain't dealing with no feelings. I ain't feeling for you. I respect you, man. And you're going to earn the respect by based on the things you do. And if I don't like what you do, I'm going to tell you, because we teach people how we want to be treated. Your feelings might overlook things that you shouldn't. Nah, sirree. You teach people how to treat you. So if you dealing with your feelings, you might let it go. Like the brother said, the abuse. Well, I feel he loved me, so I can take the abuse. Well, I feel, that he beat me because it's love, so I can take it. Well, no, it ain't. Like, nah. But the sister earlier dropped some links she wanted to share, and I'm going to put them up on the screen real quick. If you can write this down, or you can screenshot it, or you can click on it and go see what it's like. I don't have the actual page loaded at this point, but you can check it out. The links are in the comment section below. It should show up. And there was a book she also wanted to share as well. It's an interesting book. I've seen it myself on many occasions, and it's located on Amazon. I hope that this is a link she has that she could perhaps recognize the importance of sharing these links in this manner. Now, where is it? Comment. Here we go. When you love yourself first, you don't stand for certain things. When you don't love yourself, you accept anything. Facts. So, like I said, let's not use the word transaction then, since so that may not sound good. Let's use the word purpose. Y'all have a purpose to be in each other's life. A purpose-driven life. A purpose-driven relationship. Cannot go wrong. Cannot go wrong. Cannot go wrong, man. Anyhow, family, I want to thank. Oh, what time is it? Yeah, we going. Any other callers before we go? Anybody else want to share a thought? I saw I had a missed call earlier from the brother when the other guy was on the line. Family, look, let me say this. That's cranberry, by the way. If somebody asked earlier, cranberry is yeah. Daughter gave me some cranberry. I thought that was very thoughtful of her. She's too much. We got to be examples for our offspring, family. We got to be examples for them, and how we relate with each other is important. Men, sometimes your wife, girlfriend may want to start an argument for that reason. That may not even be you. She may be frustrated at something else happened at work, happened on the way home, happened with a friend. Maybe her health, maybe she's not. Maybe it's that time and she's not balancing it well. And we got to be a bit more understanding. I recognize that it's not my duty to fight the woman, but to be there for her as a strong tower for her to lean on in her moment where she feel like leaning. So when she crash into you, make sure you stand like that oak tree, solid and firm, and absorb that energy so she could be at peace. You know what I mean? Let her create your peace so that when she create your peace, you can be that peace she's looking for in the time of the storm. Yeah, but having said that, I want to share this tune here real quick too. I was listening to it earlier. And I want to share this, man. This is a thought I was having to myself, and I was trying to get into. I was focusing on how I'm going to get into the zone for tonight's program. Like, what state of mind am I going to be in? And I'm glad that I am the type that can tune into the vibes of the people. Y'all make this possible. Y'all make this happen, and as a result of that, here we are. Here we are. Anyhow. People like you, family, is love we're dealing with, love all the way. Our next topic is, family. How do we restore the family? You know what I mean? How do we restore the family? That's the reality. We got to restore the family. If there's any way out of this madness, is family first. I mean, that's what they're trying to break up. Divine order. Divine order is family. Remember that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. If you give a little more than you take,
yes.
And if you try to fix more than you break, if you're the kind who takes the time to help a stranger in the rain, there's a place
for people like you, family.
If you stand up for those down on their knees and lend a voice to those who cannot speak.
Voice of the voiceless.
If you shine a little light, give sight to the ones who've lost their way. There's a place for people like.
Tell a friend and tell a friend, family.
I've heard up there the streets are made of gold.
So they say.
And when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place up there for people like you.
Tell a friend and tell a friend, family. We need each other, man.
Walk around with your heart on your sleeve. And if you're trying to be the change you want to see,
be real with yourself, family.
If you lay down your life for love so someone could be saved, there's a place for people like you.
Patient with your woman, man.
I've heard up there the streets are made of gold.
Be patient, family. Be patient, be patient, be patient.
And when you get there, there's a hand to hold.
Love, love, love.
I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place up there for people like you.
Learn to love each other, family, unconditionally, man.
People like you.
Unconditional love, family, unconditional love.
I've heard up there the streets are made of gold.
Love, 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 love.
And when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here are through, yeah, there's a place up there for people like you. I know you're out there, so keep doing what you do. 'Cause there's a place up there for people like you.
Yes, family. Yes, family. I ain't know what nobody else, right? It's trying to reconnect with the first world order. First. Them is the ones that had it correct. I ain't know what nothing else that came after that. Trying to restore divine order, family. And it starts with loving yourself in order to love others, man. In the eyes of God, accordingly. Family first, man. Trying to heal our women. Let's be real with our women. Give them the space they need to be all they can be. Divine femininity, divine energy, celestial bodies that flow infinitely, that connect with the I and I. You know what I Yeah. I saw it go, family. Time to reconnect, man. I give thanks to everybody that, tune in, shared your thoughts, your energy, your synergy in this reality virtually with the IME. That's how it go, family. Yes. So we know we got work, brothers. How we heal our sisters? Patience. The men got to be patient with the women. Patient with the women. Give them the space to heal. Let them recognize that you're not the enemy. I ain't here to fight you, sis. I here to take that weight from you. What you've been carrying your whole life, what you've been carrying for generations, that's all been nested on your shoulders. Let a brother take that from you, man. But brothers, you got to create the space and the environment so she's comfortable and trusts you enough to be that, which means you got to be honest. You got to be honest. Whatever you do, deal with her honestly. Even if you decide you want to have a different relationship or another family, what they call the extended family, but it's not extended. Be honest, family. Just be honest. Let her make her decisions accordingly. Yes, I just said that. I know that's a whole different podcast, but anyhow, right now it's family first, so that's what we're dealing with. Let's heal all women, family. Just be honest. Let the sisters make their divine choices accordingly. Let's not take that from them, eh? Yes. They say that the women are hurt. Well, guess what? We all hurt. But as men, let me hold on to that weight, man. Let me carry that baggage and let our sisters rise to the occasion and restore themselves. Because see, when you allow the divine feminine energy to restore, like the lamp, you rub it, it should come out. Your wish is her command here. Not that she's not powerful, but the respect and love she show you, right? I tell you, is the queen that the choose the king, not the other way around. You fix my crown. Rastafari. Having said that, family, I give thanks, for everyone again. And I gotta go back to the first tune that we was playing though when we came into this meditation tonight, man. I definitely got to go forward to that one, man. That one there, the energy was serious, man. That is the last first Empress Rosero Menin. Families, tell a friend and tell a friend. By the way, politically incorrect on ID. Go check it out, man. Go check it out. Politically incorrect 246. Politically _in_ correct 246. Yeah, it's official. ID page up and running. We ain't really running it. This kind of jogging right. We're gonna work on it. Let it flow, family. Feel the energy, man. Feel it.
Rhythm and life domination. You realize all the time we waste.
Yes.
You realize all the pain we face. Please pour a cup feminine libation.
Yes.
My gosh, we raise you. Please sympathize all the lies we raise you. Please realize all the time. Family energy, drank a couple quarters on my course, then I code up. If I rule the world, money stacks for all my daughters.
Yes.
Never ask for payment in the womb ×9. Now we see the blood on the street ×3. Feminine energy, balance up the indestructible in the vaginal. Heaven in thine, heaven is mine. Spiritual, lyrical, mother sang sweetest taboo, rickle kind. If I was astonished by the level of shame, feminine energy reign. Intuition and ambition, intuition Intuition and ambition running through my veins. Pour out the love, let the healing begin.
Let the healing begin to the stars. Time to shine. Time to shine. It's time to shine. The children watching here. Remember that. Start with our generation. Trying to restore it, family. Give them a solid foundation. Water's rising, family. Pay attention.
Fambo, I beg you, listen me.
Listen me.
I beg you, open your ears for any waiting that they say. Waiting that they talk. Now serious talk at they talk go. No beating Angaye speaking. Listen. In this world we do, members say ya, one day go come. when we all go, before long, we go meet Mama Godo. When we dey meet Mama Godo, tell me, waiting, you go say.
We the My Life Jam Nation. You realize all the time we wasting. You realize all the pain we facing. Please pour a cup feminine libation. My gosh, we raising. Please sympathize all the lies we raising. Please realize all the time.
Mama.
See my energy. 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 times shoulders. Carry all the weight of the world on your shoulders. Give a couple crowns to the